I wonder, like, what do you think about taunting as a whole? Is taunting, teabagging, things of that nature, is it tasteless? Is it put extra pressure on yourself? What do you think?
Well, I think you kind of have to divvy up your mindset. There's what you think about it, and then there's the fact that you got to deal with it. I think you got to totally separate those two things, because as a competitor, if I get taunted or teabagged, I don't care, right? That's how you have to think about it. You have to move on. You can't let it affect you. Now, if I remove myself from that situation, generally, my personal opinion is I'm not a huge fan of it, but I don't mind it either. Would I ever do that myself in a competitive environment? No, because I feel like that's karma. I feel like I think there's a problem mentally.
You're soft.
No, let me tell you something. There's something mentally that happens when you try to inflate yourself up. When you're taunting, when you're teabagging, to me, what that usually speaks of in a lot of situations is that you are not as confident as you're coming off of as. I feel like it's like puffing your chest up. You're trying to make yourself appear larger than you really are. Personally, for my own sort of mentality, I feel like it can do harm to yourself to hype yourself up, and then if there's anything that cracks that armor, it can come toppling down much harder on you. But if you're on the receiving end of it, I think it's a valid tactic. If someone wants to use it, to me, you just move on. They're just wasting inputs is how you have to think about it, because you'll get blown up, you'll get embarrassed, you'll get taunted, you'll get clowned on all the time, but you just gotta win. That's the only thing you should be concerned about. Anything that happens in between is just like irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. Just find the win. So I know you've actually used it yourself. So is there actually something to it that you think is legit? Well, you know what?
First off, let me hold on 1 second, bro. Excuse me, I know that might have looked weird and random, but I had to get the power from the god so that I could even get these facts, these heavy facts off of my chest right now, okay? Now listen, there's different type of people and different type of competitors in this world, okay? And what works for one person may not work for the next. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand, and that's why people argue so much on Twitter and things of that nature, or say asinine things like what Brian just said about taunting and teabagging, all right? If I'm feeling it, it's a natural thing in me being myself and me feeling like that I'm all the way in my element. So if that's naturally how I am, you know, if I'm naturally like a more boisterous type of person sometimes and things of that nature, if I suppress that, now I am going to have a harder time winning and things of that nature because I'm trying to be something I'm not. It's just like when it comes down to hosting or doing things like this, right? There's some people, a whole lot of people love the fact that I'm gonna tell jokes and have energy and things of that nature and just be myself. But there's some people that are gonna be like, oh, he's too loud. Oh my goodness, did he just show some personality and have fun? Get him off the screen. Well, in the end of the day, I'm not going to capitulate so that I can, appease that type of person. So there's that side, and then outside of that, Brian, we used to bring up the whole like karma thing and all that. Listen, Brian, it's war. What are you talking about? How can you get bad karma for smoking someone?
Well, I don't mean it in that sense. I mean it as in what you just mentioned, being true to yourself. I feel like sometimes people use the taunt or when someone does a taunt or a teabag and you're like, you're not feeling it. Those moments have happened where they try to employ that when they're like down or something, and then they're not feeling it and you're not feeling the energy from it. There's a sixth sense that's going on there where you can be like, this dude is about to get smoked. Like there's the I'm destroying somebody's teabag, and then there's the I'm losing and I'm going out and I might as well just like taunt and throw it away kind of deal. So I think it's all about being true to yourself, like you mentioned, because for me, that's not true to me. I'm trying to keep it together, right? That's not where my mind is. I'm trying to stay focused. I'm trying to be my eye on the prize, right? So if I go out of my way and I start doing that, you know something's off. Like that is not my element. So I totally agree. Like if it's how you are, suppressing your own energy and trying to go outside of your comfort zone like that is definitely going to be detrimental. So if you feel that way, go for it, for sure.
Go in. But now, all right, now this is another thing though, right? I feel like there's a time and place for everything. Like if I'm playing against Daigo or Taquito or something like that, like no matter what's going on.
They've been teabagged.
I know, and it's cringe to me.
Those names you brought up have been teabagged. But I mean, what about what you just mentioned, right? Like if you have that energy, if you're about it, like it doesn't matter if you're just going for the W. What is respect at that point? It's war, isn't it?
It is war. It is.
So
war.
I feel like,
you know
aren't you kind of admitting you're holding yourself back a little bit for these outside of the game cultural connections?
Just because it's war doesn't mean that war crimes don't exist, Brian. Okay, so there's some things like we won't mention exactly.
The winners write history, Rob. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, that's very true. I put it like this: in the end of the day, and this is something that people hate to admit, but if you're someone who just wins all the time, to a degree, you can do whatever you want, and people are still gonna. I can't really use this word on Capcom Fighters, but people are still gonna
mess with you.
People are still gonna ride the wave. People are still gonna ride the wave and be extremely supportive of you just because you win so much. But if you're somebody who doesn't win as much and you do the same things, all of a sudden you are the bad guy and everyone hates you because people are hypocrites. I'm not. I feel the same way no matter who does it, right? So with that being the case, yeah, of course there's always gonna be caveats with things, bro. But I don't think, for one, like if the culture is outside of that, then I think that to me it's cringe to do it. And I think if you're going against a player that's significantly weaker than you, then that's just lame to me, bro. Like, what's the point? I feel like even if I'm stronger than someone, but we're somewhat near each other to some degree, okay, like you're also a good tournament player as well. But if I'm going up against someone and they're like, we're on completely different planets, I've never seen why someone praise that sort of thing. To me, bro, okay, that's kind of too faceted. To me, for one, let it be somewhere around your level, because at that point, that's when I respect it, okay? Because that person has the ability to beat you and you're taking that risk. Also, don't do it afterward. I don't like when people don't talk trash and then win and then talk trash. That's ridiculous to me. That's so soft. You didn't put it all on the line. When me and you had our first to 10, I talked trash beforehand, and of course it was all friendly and love and stuff like that. But you know what I'm saying? You put, even if we weren't cool, I would have talked trash beforehand and put it on the line. Don't just wait until after you win.
I feel you. But what I'm thinking here is teabagging versus taunting. What happened to the taunts? You know what? One thing I think Street Fighter V could be a little bit better in is having custom taunts. That's the one thing I think it's missing. But I feel like taunting is almost more classy than teabagging. Don't you feel like you know who does do that? Who? Tokido. Everyone remembers Evo 2017 Grand Finals. Yeah. He had the stun. He had the opportunity to do the taunt, the ground pound taunt combo into the uppercut. I think he went to the super to kill, right? That's kind of a classy taunt, is it? You know what I mean? And there's commitment to it. A teabag is just down, down, down. There's no commitment. You can block right after, right? A taunt, you're stuck in that animation. So that's one thing I'm kind of interested to see, is like, when is that going to come back? Because to me, there's more risk to that. There's more risk to it, but there's something that's like, the fact that it's more cowardly to teabag kind of makes it even more of a villain thing to do. Kind of like in WWE or AEW or something. And the bad guy slides out of the ring and stuff like that instead of fighting sometimes so that he can catch his breath. Like, I feel like that's like it's a villainous move. I feel
it's a villainous move.
The taunt is classy. The teabag is a little, it's more aggressive so and dirty. It's very crude.
And it's universal. Like, I feel like just looking at that, I mean, come on, man. We all remember
didn't come from fighting games.
We remember Modern Warfare 2, bro. Modern Warfare 2 was a wild one, and it may have existed before that, but that's when I remember it off.
Oh, it definitely did. Yeah, it goes way back in the FPS game. So it didn't start with Street Fighter. We can say that for sure. But that said, there's a lot of disrespect in that topic, and that's what it's all about when competing sometimes.